Hi guys, today's video is a try on haul and I got a bunch of things from Shop Miss A. So I want to say 25 things and it cost me just over 50 bucks. This reminds me of e.l.f. Like, remember when e.l.f. first started out and all of their products were $1 or $2? I remember going on their website and just ordering a whole bag full of stuff to try. So that experience was kind of like this one. And I figured we'd just try this stuff on and see how good it actually is. I'm not going to be able to try everything, but we'll definitely just open it all up and swatch. And the thing that actually prompted this haul was this foundation, because somebody told me over on a video that I posted recently, it was a short talking about discontinued products, and I was saying how much I missed the CYO Life Proof Foundation. Well, somebody said that this is like a really good dupe for that. So I had to go over and check it out. And then of course, I just started adding things to cart. So just quickly, if you're new here, I do a lot of makeup reviews on this channel. Everything is completely unsponsored. So if that sounds good, be sure to hit the subscribe button and let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. All right, so I am just gonna go ahead and dump all of this out on the table. To be honest, I don't remember all of the things I bought except for the foundation. I was just kind of furiously adding things to cart, but I think I tried to get enough to do like a full face. So let's start with brows, I guess. So I didn't get a brow gel. I already set my brows with my Too Faced Fluff and Hold brow wax, but I did get a slim brow pencil. So I want to try this one out. This is from AOA Studio. And unfortunately, it doesn't have the name anywhere on the packaging. So I'm going to put it on the screen. I'll just have to go back and look at my order and see which color I got. But this is one of those super slim, skinny brow pencils. So you can see like it has a really fine tip and then the other side has a spoolie. So it's very similar to something like the Anastasia Brow Wiz or the Benefit one. I think NYX and e.l.f. have them as well. And let's just take a quick look at the color. I just want to see what this looks like. Ooh, it actually is very creamy. It seems to draw nicely. And it doesn't look like it's gonna be too warm. So I'm really hoping it matches my brows well. I'm just gonna zoom you in a little bit. All right, so I'm just gonna start on this brow over here and I'm just barely touching this to my skin. I'm trying to make really light hair-like strokes. And so far it's working. I mean, this is performing beautifully, actually. I'm surprised. I was expecting it to be a little bit dry, like I know the e.l.f. one is. And this is surprisingly creamy. It's actually reminding me a lot of the Benefit one, which I have currently. So consider me impressed right now. That was super easy. Wow. All right, let's quickly do the other one. I don't normally do my brows on camera because I like having a big mirror to do them, and the mirror that I have in front of me is kind of small and it makes it a little harder to see. I feel like I always mess up my brows when I do them on camera, but I'm trying my best. I also think this color matches my brows pretty well. So yeah, this was definitely worth the $1.88 for sure. Next up, I got some cream eyeshadows that looked a little bit like the ColourPop Super Shocks. So these are also from AOA Studio and they're called the Venetian Romance Creamy Eyeshadow. So I got 3 different colors to pick from and I'll just show you what they look like up close. The packaging actually feels a little bit cheap compared to the ColourPop ones, but they're a pretty large size for an eyeshadow. These are really the size of ColourPop's Super Shock blushes or the highlighters versus their eyeshadows, which are a lot smaller. So the shades that I got were Whirlwind. So this looks really, really pretty. It's like a light champagne gold. And then the next one's Petticoat. This one looks like a beautiful, almost like a rose gold. I think I might want to use this one. Super beautiful. And then the last one I got is Era, which is a gorgeous green. I kind of want to use this one too. I don't know. I feel like the other one will go best with what I'm wearing today, but I guess just let me go ahead and swatch them first and then we'll go from there. So this is Era, which is the green. Let's see. Ooh, look at that. Okay, I was not expecting that out of a $2 eyeshadow. Not at all. That is gorgeous. Let's try the Petticoat shade. These feel really creamy and soft as well. So this one's Petticoat. Oh my gosh, look at how beautiful that is. I love it. All right, then the last one is Whirlwind. So let's see what this one looks like. That is so pretty too. It's like a really soft gold. I feel like it's maybe slightly more subtle than the others, but I mean, that's gorgeous. So, so pretty. Okay, so I think I'm gonna apply Petticoat. It was a tough call between this and the green, but I just think this color kind of matches what I'm wearing. Plus, I'm gonna be going out for ice cream with my son and some of the moms at school right after this. So I don't know, I just don't want my makeup to be too dark and smoky. Just gonna keep it light. So, okay, wow. So that just applied pretty much effortlessly. I'm just gonna take the Rephr number 15 Max and just blend out the top edge just so that it looks a little bit more seamless. But I mean, that really didn't take any effort at all. I just patted it with my finger quickly, like 2 seconds, and done. So this is a great one and done type of shadow. These have a nice moussey feel. They're a little bit of a drier, moussey texture. They seem to kind of be almost like a cream to powder, so they don't feel greasy, and I have high hopes that they're not gonna crease throughout the day either, but we'll have to see. All right, so I'm just gonna blend this one out too. And I will be doing a wear test today, and I think this is like the perfect day to do it. It's unseasonably hot. It's around 80 degrees, but the humidity is just out of control. I had so much trouble like keeping my hair from being frizzy today. I'm really gonna be putting this makeup through the paces. So next up, I got a liquid eyeliner. This is called the Artista eyeliner pen, and I got it in the shade brown. So this is what the outer packaging looks like. It's just very basic. And then it has a brush tip, which looks like a nice size. It's not too chunky, so I think it'll make a nice fine line. I'm really hoping that this is nicely pigmented, so let's see. I'm just kind of starting at the outer corner and drawing a wing out. And then I'm gonna connect it from the top lash line. Wow, this actually is not skipping, and it does have a nice amount of pigmentation. It's also a pretty brown. I'm just gonna go along to the inner corner. Yeah, that's beautiful. Here, I'll just swatch it on my hand quick so you can see the color. I'll do like a little bit of a heavy swatch. So this is what the actual shade looks like. I think it's really pretty. And it's also super easy to use. I really love the brush tip. So let's just do the other side quickly. All right, next up for mascara, I have this one called Inner Self Flutterby Mascara. So this is supposed to be a lengthening formula. This is also from AOA Studio. So I'll just quickly show you what the brush looks like. So it's a traditional style mascara wand. It's like the softer bristles. And the brush isn't too big and chunky, so that's good. I'm really hoping that this doesn't smudge or flake. I've been using so many tubing mascaras lately, and I've gotten used to feeling confident when I go out throughout the day that they're not gonna smudge on me. But with a traditional mascara, you just never know, especially when it's super humid outside like it is today. So we'll have to see what happens. All right, so here's what it looks like after a couple of coats. I feel like it gives my lashes a little bit more of a wispy look as opposed to like a thick, voluminous false lash kind of a look. So it's okay. It's not my favorite though. I'm just gonna do the other eye really quick and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so here's the final eye look. I think these cream shadows just performed so beautifully. I'm hoping that they last on my eyes. I'm almost wondering if I should maybe dust a little bit of translucent powder on top just to make sure that they don't crease. Maybe I should do that really quick. This is the I'm Mimi powder, so I'm just gonna quickly like just press a little bit of this right along my crease area where shadows tend to crease on me. I just feel like I'm starting to see a little tiny bit of creasing, and I don't want it to get worse, especially when I'm outside. All right, so hopefully that powder helps a little bit. Next up, let's try the foundation. I am so excited for this to see if it's a dupe for the CYO. So this is called the A2O Lab Soft Matte Foundation. It was $4, so definitely the most expensive thing that I bought today. But what shade did I get this in? This is in L2. And on the box, it says this is a lightweight, breathable foundation that smooths the skin with a soft matte finish, sensory friendly, and for all skin types. It also says that it's free of alcohol and oil, it's reef safe and EU allergen free, and it's supposed to give you flawlessly filtered skin. So here's the bottle, and in some ways it does remind me of the CYO. So here's that one. I haven't used the CYO in a while. I've believe this one is expired, so I don't want to use it anymore. But just for reference, I mean, the bottles feel almost exactly the same. It has the same kind of shape. It's like the same weight of plastic. I mean, I don't know what difference the package really makes, but just a quick comparison there. And let's just quickly see what this color looks like. I'm curious. It's hard to pick a color on the website. So again, this is L2. It actually looks like it's going to be a pretty good match for me. It's not overly yellow. It has a slightly cool undertone. I like this. I think it's gonna blend beautifully. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on with the sponge. This is the one from Urban Decay that looks like a big purple Hershey Kiss. They sent it to me with their new Face Bond foundation. I really like it. It's huge. I don't know if they sell it. If they do, I'll link it down below. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on my cheek and start blending out. It's hard for me to remember exactly what the CYO foundation was like, but I think, at least in my mind, it reminds me of the Ulta Complexion Crush foundation that I really like. That one's also similar, so I'm kind of basing it off of that. The foundation does seem to have a little bit of a floral scent, which I'm not a huge fan of, but hopefully it just kind of dissipates as I apply it. So far, I think it has a nice medium coverage. It looks super skin-like, really flawless. It also seems like it dries really fast. The swatch that I put on my hand is almost dry, so I had to pump more of it out from the bottle. Wow, I love how this is sinking right into my skin. It's not sitting on top, it's not heavy. It's a really thin formula. All right, I'm just gonna put a little bit more on my forehead, and then I'll show you guys a close-up and we'll see what this looks like. I believe this is also supposed to be a longer wearing formula, kind of similar to the CYO as well. Looking in the mirror, my skin looks just like skin. It doesn't look like I'm wearing foundation at all. Even though they said this is a soft matte finish, it's not a dry looking matte. I think it does have a slight bit of luminosity, almost a satin finish. So it really does look like my skin, but better. And I love and appreciate how thin this is because it doesn't look makeup-y, it doesn't look cakey, especially when applied with the sponge. If I compare it to my memory of the CYO foundation, I think it is really, really similar. Because the thing that I loved the most about this, and by the way, I did try to pump some of this out on my hand just to see if I could feel what it feels like, and the pump is clogged. Like, it's so old. I mean, honestly, I don't think it's just gonna work at this point, but this is how I remember that foundation being, where it just looked like your skin, but better. It didn't look heavy. It didn't look like you're obviously wearing makeup, but yet it had good coverage. It wasn't as light as something like a skin tint or a tinted moisturizer. It actually covers, it builds on itself really well. And like I said, this feels like it's almost dried down. It has a slight bit of tackiness, but I think on my dry skin, it is going to dry down all the way in probably a few minutes. So overall, I think this is a beautiful foundation, and it actually is $1 or so cheaper than the Believe Beauty, which I also really love. So I'm impressed so far. Thank you so much to whoever recommended this to me. This is awesome. All right, let's move on to blush. I have 3 different options that I purchased, and I don't know which one I'm gonna use yet, so I figured I'll show them to you, we'll swatch them, and then I'll pick. So the first blush that I got is the Venetian Romance Creamy Blush. So these come in really nice glass containers. They're very heavy. They actually feel a lot more expensive than they are, which is really nice. And I got 2 shades, Vanity and Duchess. So I'll show you what Duchess looks like. This is an absolutely beautiful mauve tone, which I kind of might wear this one. It looks like it'll go with my look today. And then this one is Vanity, which looks like a beautiful hot pink. So let me just swatch these for you really quickly. They have a super silky feel. So here's Vanity. Look at the pigmentation on these too, wow. And then here's Duchess. They feel like they're very thin, like a weightless type of formula. So I like both colors. Again, I don't know if they kind of blend out easily or not because they look like they're gonna be really pigmented. I mean, as I'm blending, yeah, I mean, they seem to have a cream to powder type of formula, which is good. They don't feel sticky. And they do lighten up quite a bit as you blend. So that's what they look like blended out. Then the next blush option that I got are these Petal Pop Duos. So these actually have a cream blush on one side and a powder on the other. So I got one that's more coral. This is called Bloomers. Then I got this cool tone pink one, which is called Petal Pushers. And then this one is Bouquet, which also looks like, I think this will go really nicely with my eye look. So I'm considering using this one as well. All right, so let's swatch. First up, we have Bloomers. So the blush, again, very, very pigmented. And then we have the powder on the other side. This is Bloomers. All right, so we have the powder and the cream. How pretty is that? That is gorgeous. Next up, we have Petal Pushers. That's what my mom used to call capris. I remember when I was little, if I ever wore capri pants, she would call them Petal Pushers. Nobody really says that anymore, though. All right, so again, we have the cream here. And then this is the powder. The powder on this one is very, very light, but I suppose you could kind of use it to set the cream as well. Let me just see if I can build that pink up just a little bit more. Yeah, if you add another layer, it definitely here gives it a little bit more color. So not a lot. It's still a really pale shade, but it shows up a little better. Okay, and then the last one is Bouquet, which might be the one I wear today. We'll see. So first we have the cream shade here. Ooh, that is beautiful. They're like really pretty nudes, almost like a terracotta shade. And then there's the powder. Sorry, my hand was a little bit wet because I just used a makeup wipe to remove the other ones, so that really didn't swatch very well. Hold on, let me just dry my hand off and we'll try that again. Okay, hopefully my hand is dry now. Yeah, that swatch is a lot better. Okay, so that one again is Bouquet. And then the last blush option that I bought in 4 colors. So this is called the Color Flush Liquid Blush, also from AOA Studio. I couldn't decide on a color, so I just got 4 of them. So that's what the packaging looks like. They're tiny tubes, but I feel like when it comes to liquid blush, a little bit goes a long way. So let me just swatch these really quickly. They have a super thin serum-like texture, so I have a feeling these are gonna be really nice as well. It's so hard. I wanna try all of these on my cheeks, but it's not gonna be possible today, so I'll have to just let you know in an update video how I liked some of these other ones. Okay, so somehow I realized I got 2 of the same color. So we have Walnut, and then this one is Cherry Wood. This is also Walnut, and this is Honey Maple. So unfortunately I have 2 walnuts, so I guess I really only have 3 colors to share with you, but these all look gorgeous. All right, so I think I'm gonna use the Petal Pop one only because I can put the cream and then the powder to kind of set it. Again, just because of the humidity today, I think I'll probably need that. So I'm gonna start with the cream and I'm just gonna tap a little dot on my cheek, and then I'm gonna blend it with the BK Beauty 112 brush, which is a little angled brush. So we'll see how this blends out. I mean, it honestly had like a cream to powder sort of formula when I was swatching it. So yeah, it's blending out really nicely and it's not overly pigmented either. So I think this is a nice one that you can just layer if you want to add a little bit more. Yeah, that's super pretty. I'm just going to pick up a little bit more just straight from the pan. It's almost the same color as my eyeshadow, I feel like. So I think this is going to coordinate really well. All right, then I'm just going to add a little bit to the other cheek. I'm impressed with how this is blending out. This is really nice. And it has a slight little hint of luminosity. There's no glitter or shimmer that I can see, but it just doesn't look completely flat or matte on my skin. That is so super pretty and it's not patchy at all. I think it looks really smooth. All right, so then I'm just gonna add a little bit of the powder to it, and because that cream dried down so completely, I think the powder will just glide right on top. Yeah, it blends pretty much effortlessly. And I love that you can kind of set this down because it'll really lock that color in. So pretty. I really want to try the other colors too. I love the coral one and the cooler tone pink. I think those are going to be gorgeous. All right, next for lips, I got some dewy lip balms that I'm really excited about. These are called the Buttery Blur Creamy Lipstick. So I got 4 different colors. This is what the packaging looks like. It's just really basic and really simple. So let me just open these up and show you the colors. Looking at these in person right now, they look a little bit darker than I was expecting and also kind of just brown and dull. So I'm hoping that they actually swatch really nicely. So Here's a look at the shades really quick. I have this one that looks kind of purpley over here, then a peachy shade, there's a brown, and then one that looks sort of like a brick red. But they didn't look like this online, so let's go ahead and swatch them quickly. All right, so that reddish one is called Velvet, and actually it looks a little bit pinker and a little lighter in a swatch. So that looks pretty. And then the brown one is Caramel. That one looks like it has a little bit of a rosier undertone as well. So that's that one right here. Then we have Peachy, which, yeah, it looks a little bit brighter in a swatch. And then the purpley one is called Mauve or Mauve. So that's what that one looks like. I'm not super thrilled with any of these colors, to be honest with you, but let's just try them all on and we'll see which one is the best. Okay, so starting with the purpley mauve shade, let's try that one first. Okay. Right away, I'm not a fan of how this looks on. So it doesn't have a lot of shine to it, and it looks like it's just settling into my lip lines immediately. It's almost like a waxy type of a formula. So I don't know if you guys can see, it's just not really a smooth looking lip product. But anyway, this is a shade Mauve. Next, let's try the Peachy one. They don't have much of a scent though. It's like a slight vanilla scent kind of mixed with crayon. So I think that's probably whatever waxes they're using in here. Yeah, so this is Peach. They just go on a little bit kind of patchy. Next up is Caramel. This is like a very 90s color. And then last but not least is Velvet. I also have to say, these are leaving a little bit of a stain behind. When I wipe off each one, I feel like it leaves a little bit of color behind. And I just got some outside my lip line and it's not wiping away at all. It just kind of stained there. So this one is Velvet. All right, so I'm not too thrilled with these, to be honest. They just feel a little bit waxy, not smoothing on your lips. So I feel like out of all the products I've tried today so far, this one is my least favorite. And then next, I also got these lip liners. So these are called the Artista lip liner, and they're actually a lip liner pen. I got them in 5 different shades, and I've actually never tried a lip liner pen before, so I thought these looked really interesting and fun. Hopefully they're good. So the tip on them has like a little ball at the end of it, so it's not like a traditional pen style, but I think when it comes to lip liners, something like this that might leave a little bit of a stain behind might be longer lasting than your traditional pencil style lip liner. But I think for today, I'm actually gonna just use this to fill in my lips if I can find a color that I like, and then maybe top it with some lip balm. So let me just quickly swatch all the colors that I got. So these are, wow, they're really, really smooth. Let me show you quickly. I'll do like a live swatch. So I already have one. This one is Mauve, but I'll live swatch the next one for you just so you can see how they go on. So this next one is Rose Brown. So they just draw on like a regular pen. These are nice. Then the next one is Brown. And then we have Beige, which is a really pale color. That's this one. And then the last one is Eggplant, which to me is not eggplant at all. It's like a really light pink, so there's that one. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what color I'll use. I might actually pick this one. I don't know. So again, just quickly, the shades are Mauve, Rose Brown, Brown, Beige, and then Eggplant. So that's what those look like. I don't know. Actually, the more I'm looking at these swatches, I feel like Rose Brown might go the best with what I'm wearing today because it's a little bit of a warmer tone color. So let's try that one. I'm just going to start outlining my lips, and then I'm also going to just fill them in. So yeah, this definitely feels like one of those lip stains that comes in the pen, like similar to these CoverGirl ones. It feels almost identical. I think it's a little bit on the dry side. I'll definitely need a lip balm or something to apply on top of it, but the color is really, really pretty. So I'm just gonna apply the Neutrogena lip oil on top. All right, so that added a lot of hydration, so hopefully we will be good to go. And here is the finished look. I am really, really happy with everything that I tried except for these lip butters. Like I said, I think the eyeshadow performed beautifully so far. Love the foundation. The brow pencil was awesome. Actually, the mascara I wasn't too fond of either. I feel like it didn't give me really big lashes, but it's just okay. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna go about the rest of my day. Hopefully I'll do a check-in around the time that I pick up my son from school. We'll see how everything's holding up, and then I'll be back later on tonight with my final thoughts. So I will see you guys then. Hi guys, it's check-in time. So it's been about 4 hours or so, and I think everything looks pretty decent. The foundation looks good. The blush still looks good. The lips are a little dry, not gonna lie. I ate lunch and the gloss that I put on top came off, so now they're feeling a little bit drier from that stain that I put on. And the stain also has a little bit of a sticky feel, like it never quite dried down all the way, which is kind of weird. So I'm gonna have to just add some lip balm. And then as far as the eyeshadow, I feel like it's kind of sort of starting to crease just a little. It still looks okay, but I don't have hope that it's gonna make it all the way to the end of the day without creasing, even though I did set it with powder. So I mean, I may need to try setting it with something else, maybe a setting spray or something. So, you know, I'll experiment with it, but you know, so far I'm really happy with the foundation. I think everything else looks really good. So I'll see you guys a little bit later on, probably like 8 or 9 p.m. tonight. Hi guys, it's been about 8 hours. Let's check in and just see how everything is holding up. So as far as like right away, I'm noticing the blush is still looking great. I don't feel like it faded much, if at all, and I think that probably is a testament to the cream being set with the powder, because I just feel like in general that helps blush to last a really long time. So I'm happy with that. Also, I know I talked about the eyeshadow looking like it was slightly creased in the car. As I look at it now, I feel like it hasn't really progressed beyond that. It still looks pretty decent. It's not heavily creased. I think it faded a little bit from when I first put it on, but it still looks pretty good. And just a couple quick things to note, I did set it with powder, and also I have very dry eyelids. So if you have oily eyelids, it may not have the same results on you. So I just want to put that out there. But otherwise, I really don't think it's that bad. And like I said, it was super humid today. We don't have the air conditioning running yet in the house, so it's a little warm in here as well. And it held up surprisingly well. Same thing with the mascara. There's no smudging or flaking, although I just wasn't crazy about like the way that it made my lashes look. I just don't think it made them quite as big and voluminous as I like, but overall it's a natural looking formula. And you know what? I forgot to mention the eyeliner before. Look at this, like my wing is still there. It's still intact, which almost never happens to me. I'm constantly like touching my eyes during the day, or I'm, you know, going like this because sometimes my eyes water, and like literally it still looks perfectly applied, which I'm amazed. Most eyeliners do not hold up that well. Also, the brow pencil I thought was really nice. It was super impressive, not only in the way that it applied, how like creamy and soft it was, but also, I mean, it's lasted throughout the day. And I feel like most cheaper brow pencils are super stiff, or sometimes they're too waxy. This was the perfect in between. It reminds me so much of the Benefit micro brow pencil that I've been using lately. It's really, really good. I would 100% repurchase this one. And as far as the foundation too, I'm impressed. I think it actually held up really well. I still have some coverage on my nose, which is always the first place that it wears off. Same thing with my chin. I think everything looks pretty even. In that way, it does remind me of the CYO, because this one also was an incredibly long-lasting foundation. Like if I zoom you guys in, it looks really good. Like there's no patchiness. It's not breaking up anywhere. It still looks smooth. I have coverage everywhere I put it. I also love this color for me too. I feel like it's a really great match. So the biggest downside to me with the foundation was just that it has a fragrance, which I wasn't crazy about, but otherwise I really, really like it. I'm sad that I didn't get a chance to try the other blushes. I really want to. Let me see if I could just kind of pop on some of this Duchess shade and just see what it looks like really quick. I know I have other blush on right now, but I feel like I did my wear test already. So let's just check out how this blends. I'm just gonna take my BK Beauty blush brush and Let's just try to blend this out and see. This has also like a really cream to powder formula. It's not sticky at all. And I feel like it blends out nicely. It looks smooth, even. Wow. All right. So I can't speak to the wear time of it, but I feel like it applied really well. So I think if you're into cream blushes, you might really like these. You know what they remind me of? The Keys Soul Care blushes. I don't know if you've ever tried those. They're kind of more of an obscure product that not a lot of people talk about, but they're a really nice cream blush, and this feels and looks really similar to that. Also, I didn't get to try these little liquid blushes. Why don't we just pop one on and see how they are? So I'm gonna use the shade Cherry Wood. So this just has a little doe foot applicator. Just gonna put a couple dots and then blend it out. Ooh, it's actually pretty pigmented, but I feel like once you start blending, it shears out quite a bit. So this has a little bit of a dewier feel. It's not the cream to powder like the other ones, but as I'm blending, at least on my dry skin, yeah, the dewiness is like almost gone already. So these seem like they're gonna be a really nice cream blush option too. So really the only things that I feel like didn't work out for me were these Buttery Blur lipsticks. I just felt like they looked a little dry and waxy. They're not a super smooth formula, so I feel like there are so many products like this at the drugstore. They're a few dollars more expensive, but they just have better hydration and look smoother on your lips. So not a big fan of these. And also these lip pens, like I said in my check-in in the car, they're very drying like most of the lip stain type products are. So I wasn't really a huge fan of this. After we went to go eat ice cream, I was wiping my mouth with the napkin and this started to kind of crumble off in these little like flakes. So I really don't love this. It left a little bit of a ring around the perimeter of my lips, but everything in the center is gone. So I wasn't really a huge fan of these either. So the lipsticks were kind of a fail, but everything else I'm surprisingly pleased with. And by the way, if you're wondering about the change of wardrobe, when I was eating lunch, I spilled something on my dress that I was wearing, so I had to change and put on something else. But anyway, guys, I'd love to hear what your favorite Shop Miss A products are down in the comments below. What are you loving from them? Is there anything that you recommend I try next? Please let me know. And also, if you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't already. And if you'd like to see something else from my channel, I'll just put another video right up here that you could watch next. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me. As always, I truly appreciate it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in my next one. Take care. Bye.